Hello everyone and welcome to Past the Post. This is Michael Adolphs and we are going to go over some of the very best in global horse racing. Kicking things off in the UK, which had a busy weekend. On Thursday at Bath, we had the listed Beckford Stakes, which saw Entrancement entrance her foes and beat out Mary's Rock and Forest Fairy. In this well-matched field, she won by a head with 3.5 between the second and third. Oisin Murphy was aboard for David Minutier.
It's all change up front now. Forest Fairy from Marie's Rock. Entrancement is sticking to it up the inside under Oisin Murphy as they battle on up the hill towards the final furlong. 3 with a chance, make that 2 now because Marie's Rock has been joined on the inside by Entrancement. Entrancement really digging deep. Marie's Rock trying to battle back. They got 50 yards left to go, nothing between them. Entrancement and Marie's Rock, and Entrancement held on.
Heading over to HQ at Newmarket, we of course had the Godolphin and UAE sponsored big weekend for 2-year-olds. First up, we had the Newmarket Academy Godolphin Beacon Project Cornwallis Stakes, a Group 3 affair over the 5 furlongs of good to soft going that saw Henry Davies and Coto de Casa win well over Grand Marquez and Colazan. Simon and Ed Crisford, no strangers to Dubai, and hopefully we'll see this one there later, had this one for the win.
2 groups at halfway, and on the right River Seine to Coto de Casa and Colazan with those. On the left, Treasure Isle to the noseband of Mr. Lightside. Grand Marquez in the pink and blue. Midnight Thunder furthest from the stands. La Bellotta trying to get into contention. The Striking Viking behind those. Coto de Casa near side in the white and black colours inside the final furlong. Grand Marquez in the pink and blue over the far side. The pair are wide apart. Nearest to us is Coto de Casa. On the far side is Grand Marquez. They come to the line. Coto de Casa to Grand Marquez, Colazan, La Bellotta and Treasure Isle.
Next up, we had the Godolphin Lifetime Care Oh So Sharp Stakes named after the famous Darley filly herself. Merrily a big shocker at 25-1, a rare big price for Ballydoyle, won well here by a half length for Aidan O'Brien. Wayne Lorden was in the saddle. Cathedral was back in second, the favourite, with Flight in third.
They come past the bushes, then down to the final 2 furlongs. Cathedral in pursuit of First Instinct, and so much so she's gone through to the lead. Cathedral takes it up now. Merrily on the right coming there. Flight Ecstatic the next pair, weakening behind those First Instinct, and then Mondura. Merrily is coming to challenge Cathedral. Flight in the light blues behind him in third place. And Merrily now, and the purple and white colours of Wayne Lorden has got the lead as they race to the line. Cathedral trying to get to her, but Merrily is going to win to Cathedral. Behind these was Flight and Toya running on into 4th place over Ecstatic.
The Group 2 Thoroughbred Industry Employee Awards Challenge Stakes was up second over 7 furlongs. Always a big race to look forward to for big horses of the next season. Saw Top Gear, the 3-1 favourite, deliver. Royal Scotsman, no stranger to top company, was back in second with the Quinault back in third. Stefan Pasquier was aboard for Christopher Head as this French invader took the challenge.
A solo run for Royal Scotsman on the extreme right. Quinault, the green sleeves, leads the main group of runners to Top Gear and Noble Dynasty, and then Ten Bob Tony, and with this is Witness Stand and Pogo and Should Have Been a Ring. They're followed by Vetiver, and then comes a Great Generation just ahead of Jumbie. Heading down with just over 2 furlongs to go. So Royal Scotsman on the right continues to be alone. Down the centre, Top Gear in the black jacket, wide armlets comes through now to go ahead of Quinault. Noble Dynasty is behind that. These are clear from Ten Bob Tony, and then comes Should Have Been a Ring. They've a furlong to go, and Top Gear races down the centre. Royal Scotsman near side. Quinault behind this to Noble Dynasty, but as they race towards
in the spring.
The Newmarket Pony Academy Pride Stakes, a Group 3 affair over 10 furlongs with fillies and older mares, was up next, and Lady Boba backed up those 5-1 good odds over Sound Angela and Higher Leaves. Russell Ryan was aboard for Rafe Beckett, proving a nice victory after the weekend in which they won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe last week.
Lady Boba leading to Sound Angela. Between the pair is Dance Sequence. Higher Leaves is still over the far side running rail, battling on well. Inside the final furlong, Lady Boba and Ross Ryan have the advantage here, and it's going to be Lady Boba who wins. Sound Angela second. Behind those is Higher Leaves in third place, then Francophone and Verbier.
Saturday was arguably an even bigger day at HQ, kicking
with him winning the Space Blues Darley Stakes.
The Palace Piers Zetland Stakes, a Group 3 affair over 10 furlongs, followed and saw Stars in Their Eyes back up 9-2 odds and beat out Green Storm, a 6-1 shot, with favourite Shackleton back in third, disappointing. The final margin of victory was a length, with the arc-winning duo of Ross Orion and Rafe Beckett once again taking the spoils.
It's getting attritional now. Stars in Their Eyes is staying on as well. Then Dunamassa is in 5th place. Green Storm out in front for Rasheen Murphy has the lead. Shackleton in 2nd place, then Too Soon, and Stars in Their Eyes out in the leads. Green Storm wandering around. Stars in Their Eyes is knuckling down. Got to within about a length or so, continuing to close. Green Storm, Stars in Their Eyes for Ross Orion, draws alongside and is seeing out the trip better and wins by a length.
The Group 3 Emirates Autumn Stakes over a mile for those 2-year-olds is often a place to find some big horses for the future, and that very much could be the case with Delacroix for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore and the Ballydoyle team, who won by a neck, with Stanhope Gardens in 2nd and Nightwalker back in 3rd. Delacroix is of course a son of the late great Tepin, winner of both the Queen Anne and the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Delacroix, Stanhope Gardens, left-hand side being gathered up Silver Peak, then Genealogy still just behind the front wave, Stanhope Gardens and Delacroix.
The biggest race of the weekend and the biggest race in the UK all year for the 2-year-olds is the Darley Dewhurst Stakes. No geldings unfortunately allowed to run in this race, so the intact horses had to go at it with Shadow of Light, backing up his evens favoritism.
Firstly, Ancient Truth delighted with that run. He was a bit fresh, obviously, off that layoff there. And James sort of was just having to manage him a little bit for the first 2 there. Got him into a rhythm. Thought he was actually the one who was going to hit the rising ground and maybe see it out the best. Because at that stage, William was had come under the pump a bit earlier. But as William said there, once I hit the rising ground, he just kept finding for me. He says, but once the others came closer to me, he found again. So, look... He's some horse. I mean, to what he's done in the last 2 weeks. Full credit to all the team. Delighted for His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and Team Godolphin. It's another homebred. As we know, he's a half brother to Earthlight. So what a mare. Going forward into the spring.
Sprinter?
Yeah, we can look at both divisions, I suppose. But no, look, I just said to Will, I said they're going to ask me, so I said I'll have to have a bit of an answer. But Will said what he was most encouraged about was the way he raced, and he said that more importantly, when I hit the rising ground, like I say, he just kept finding and found again when they, like I say, got closer to one another. So he said, I can't tell you not to look towards the Guineas in the spring. He said, I really can't. And look, he won't be the first Guineas horse if we go there and we don't stay the mile on the day, we drop back to the Commonwealth. So we've seen it done before. So I would imagine that will be our programme in the spring now.
The last stakes to cover at HQ was the Perfect Power British EBF Boadicea Stakes, a listed affair over 6 furlongs on the now soft going for fillies and mares, and Rage of Bambi at a nice 10-1 price won well for Charlie Bishop and Eve Johnson-Houghton. Marine Wave was back in second with Funny Story in third. The final margin of victory for the 112 and change victory was a neck.
And Rage of Bambi and a Funny Story are still together at the furlong pole by a length to Marine Wave in the yellow. Got to Love a Grey behind those. Running on in the closing stages then is Tiger Bay, but it's still Rage of Bambi from Marine Wave.
York had a little bit of stakes action in one of its last weekends of the year in the Coral Rockingham Stakes, a listed affair over 6 furlongs, also over soft going. Jungle Drums at a nice 20-1 fat price won well here by a length and 3/4 over It Ain't Two, and Bolognese, a 7-4 favourite, back in third. Carl Burke, continuing his excellent season, won with Sam James in the saddle.
Moving on down now inside the last 2.5 furlongs, and it's Jungle Drums in the centre who's moved through the lead here from It Ain't Two. On the right, Bolognese is beginning to respond to pressure and is now joining in. Milford is back in 4th, and then Invictus Gold plugging on from the rear. Down inside the last furlong they come. Jungle Drums, Bolognese, It Ain't Two, and still Invictus Gold is closing in. Milford in the light blue making some late headway. It's a slow motion finish in rain-softened ground. Jungle Drums is in front with 100 yards to cover and is seeing this out very determinedly. Jungle Drums wins the Coral Rockingham.
Head over to Ireland to Naas for some quick listed action. Also 6 furlongs over yielding going, where My Mate Alfie continued an excellent season, beating out 14-1 Thunder Bear and backing up his own 5-2 favoritism for Colin Keane and Jer Lyons. The likeable Big Gossie was back in third.
Coming inside the final two, Big Gossie's now ridden along with looking poised My Mate Alfie and the Twilight Jet over on the far side, Thunder Bear and OJW Legacy, Tango Flair, Tony Vega and Shandy racing up the hill to the final 200 yards, and it is My Mate Alfie just edging it from Thunder Bear, who's throwing down a challenge over on the far side. Big Gossie is battling on the stand side. My Mate Alfie in a driving finish completes an autumn hat-trick from Thunder Bear and Big Gossie and OJW Legacy next.
Now we head over to France across the sea to see some of the stakes action there. And we go to Compiègne for the listed Prix Charles Lafitte, where Partir won well. Galaxy Vega was in second, with Favor de Lourou back in third. Christian de Muro was aboard for Jean-Claude Rouget.
And it's Uluru on the near side. He's now probably got to the front, but Partir is finishing well, and Partir has come past Uluru. It's Partir now goes on. Galaxy Vega is finishing with a storm. Partir and Galaxy Vega and Uluru. Partir still just in front, but Galaxy Vega bearing down. Partir is all out, and Partir holds on to win it from Galaxy Vega in second.
It's not so often that we head over to Italy, so we are excited to go down to the land of Aperol Spritzes, including the Group 2 Gran Premio del Jockey Club, where Straight went straight to the wire, winning well. The 11-4 joint favorite beat out Flags Up by 3 3/4 lengths, with KS Calmo back in third. Lucas Delosier was aboard for the victory for Marion Falk-Weissmeyer.
4 furlongs to the end. Caos Calmo still in the leadership. Alburno still in second. At second now being dropped by the others. Winter Charm is starting to push, as well as Straight, as well as Best of Lips. The 3 invaders are pushing. Straight is pushing more than the other 2 at the moment, gaining some ground to the others, and now really turning this pace around. Also Flex Up is coming from the back. Eyes on Flex Up because in the Milano it took the place at the end, but we are still just 1 furlong away from the end. Straight has some comfortable margin on all the others. The games are set. Straight gets the Premio del Jockey Club 2024 with a margin on Flags Up and Caos Calmo.
We had an extra taste of group action in Italy, including the Premio del Piazzale, a Memorial Stakes, a Group 3 over 1.5 miles furlong, where Brave Emperor won well for Archie Watson, continuing his excellent season, this time with Luke Morris aboard. The 3-1 shot beat out Mr. Darcy and favored Best Lightning in the process.
Now Melfi is pushing more towards our position, our camera. Melfi in white and blue. You see that against Arnis Master, and Best Lighting is also coming there. Brave Emperor is in front of all of them, though. Amabile is also coming from the inner line. Mr. Darcy looking for a space. Brave Emperor still in the leadership. It's a 5-way battle till the end. Best Lighting against Brave Emperor, and Mr. Darcy coming through, but also Brave Emperor still there and in front of both of them.
Now let's go from Italy all the way over to the United States for one Group 2 affair at the Sands Point at Belmont at the Big A over the grass. And if it's a grass race in New York, you know that Chad Brown is very much live, and that was the case with Spalade. Manny Franco was aboard for the neck victory, with Makanga back in second and Style Points the favorite in third.
Makanga with Mo Fox Given is right there in pursuit, tips towards the outside. Makanga trying to fend him off. Mo Fox Given catching with every stride. Corbin Spalade tries to roll on the grandstand side. Style Points is making up some late ground after the trouble in the turn. Makanga is still there. It's Makanga who's still up by 2. Here comes Spalade to the outside. Spalade, Makanga trying to hold on. Spalade in time to win the Sands Point.
Other than Newmarket, the other big stakes day of the weekend was over in Australia, as we had Caulfield and Rosehill Gardens with plenty of group action. Caulfield had the slightly bigger of the days, kicking off its pattern affairs with the Senate Northwood Plume Stakes, Group 3 for 4-year-old and up fillies and mares over the quick 6 furlongs, and Aviatress beat out favorite A Little Deep by 2 3/4 lengths for Craig Williams in the saddle and Richard and Chantal Jolly.
250 metres to go with A Little Deep trying to chime in. Extra 2 behind those, followed by Material Dream. The leader kicking away, Aviatress here. 100 metres to go. 2 or 3 lengths in front and has got them on toast. Put them away quickly. Aviatress has won it.
The Group 3 Voss Stakes for the older fillies and mares was up next. Over a mile, where Grinzinger Bell at 9-2 won well in the Damien Lane for Danny O'Brien. Private Legacy, a big long shot, was back in second with See You in Heaven in third.
They run the corner, Grinzinger Bell, 300 metres to go, led by over 2 lengths, See You in Heaven. Then came Vibrant Sun, Lady Jones, and then came Private Legacy and rumbled again. Grinzinger Bell at the 150, See You in Heaven is chipping away. Grinzinger Bell going strongly though, 100 metres to go, 2 lengths in front of Private Legacy, who's flying, but Grinzinger Bell held on to win it by a half-neck Private Legacy.
The Group 2 Herbert Power, over a mile and a half, and a possible prep for the Melbourne Cup later on, was won well by Herman Hesse over Akita Sushi. Fancy Man was back in third. The final margin of victory with Declan Bates for Kieran Meyer was 1 1/4 lengths.
It's Akita Sushi from Herman Hesse at the 200. Fancy Man into the clear, and they were followed by Hurricane and the map. It's Herman Hesse from Akita Sushi, then Fancy Man. Herman Hesse, 50 metres to go, pulls clear. Herman Hesse is going to win it. Herman Hesse first from Akita Sushi. Head bob a third, Fancy Man or Braden Star.
Always a race to look forward to every year, the 10-furlong Meydan Power Group 1 affair was the co-feature of the day, where Deny Knowledge denied Mr. Brightside, the 3-4 favorite, with a tee-shoe back in third. Mark Zara was aboard for Anthony and Sam Friedman. The final margin of victory was 3/4 length.
300 metres to go, 3 lengths Mr. Brightside, then Adelaide River, and a tissue brought to the outside from Coco Sun. Deny Knowledge, 200 metres to go, has given a bold sight. Mr. Brightside wearing her down, 100 to go, still Deny Knowledge, 1.25 lengths, Mr. Brightside not getting there, and the mare has stolen it. Deny Knowledge wins, 3/4 length, Mr. Brightside, a tissue.
Almost 3 times the purse in the biggest race of the day at Caulfield was the Sportsbet Caulfield Guineas, where Private Life rewarded those who trusted those 12-1 odds, with Damien Lane aboard for the always tough Chris Waller in a short head victory. For Roche, a big 50-1 shot was second, with Evaporate in third.
The leader, Private Life, led by a length, Ruta Royale for Roche, Public Attention. Then came Evaporate, broadsiding, still a long way off the Private Life. 200 metres to go, 2 lengths for Roche. Then came Evaporate and broadsiding. Private Life at the 100 from Feroce. Private Life, Feroce coming at Private Life. Private Life. Private Life has just won.
The Group 2 Scalacci Stakes followed with Bellatrix Star winning over Oscar's Fortune and Marharba. The final margin was a half length to Craig Williams, another big win on the weekend for him, winning for Mark Walker.
Recommendation at the 250, led from Oscar's Fortune into the clear. Kalos follows it through, and Bellatrix Star right down the centre. Bellatrix Star, the filly, goes up to Oscar's Fortune. Bellatrix Star just in front and will win. Bellatrix Star a neck.
The last race of the day at Caulfield to cover was the Highland Race Colours Toorak Handicap, a Group 1 handicap affair, where Antino at 19-5 won well over Craig, a 9-1 shot, with Alice Fina in third. Blake Shin was aboard for Tony Gullen, and the final margin of victory was a whopping 6.5 lengths.
Antino, every poster winner at the 200 metres, 5 lengths in front of Desert Lightning Elsafina, followed by Craig, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow from last to first, has bolted in, demolished them. Antino, 6 lengths.
Now let's head over to Rosehill Gardens, which held no less than 5 pattern affairs to cover, kicking things off with the Tab Gloaming Stakes, a Group 3 for the 3-year-olds over 9 furlongs, where El Costello beat out favourite Swift Falcon by a length and 3/4. Firm Agreement was back in third. Joshua Parr was aboard for Anthony Cummings.
Crystal clear. Can it keep going? Firm agreement the inside. Tembry Wells is roping them in. El Costello runs on. Then Akami Star and Ray Queen. The favourites are still well back as Tembry Wells and El Costello moved up. Firm agreement on the fence. El Costello in firm agreement. But El Costello really strong the last 100. Rattling home a Swift Falcon. But El Costello's tap gloaming. Won it by 2 lengths.
The Group 2 Canadian Club Roman Consul Stakes was up next for the sprinters. And like our famous Switzerland sprinter who is retired for Bupat Simar, the Australian Switzerland was just as impressive, winning by 2 lengths, with Nash Waller aboard for Chris Waller, another group win for him on the weekend.
3:50 to go. Ikasara, length and a half in front to Yoshinobu. Now Switzerland starting to knuckle down on the fence. Spirit of Welsh run a race by the looks of it as Coleman starts to run on. Here's Switzerland bursting up the inside. Switzerland went up to join Yoshinobu. Oh, Switzerland pulling away. So much better behaved today. And Switzerland runs away with the Roman Consul.
The listed Tap Craig was up next over 7 furlongs, where 9-5 favourite Anode won well over Just Party and Deconstruction. Timothy Clark was aboard for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott.
Inside the 200, Anode is 3 lengths clear from Just Party running on, and then came Snack Bar and Outs off the outside. Anode in front of Just Party is going to get close. Anode just in front, and I think scraped in.
The Group 2 Hill Stakes followed over an extended 9 furlongs, where Attrition Pia Kovalika, Royal Patronage, no stranger to UK racing fans, was back in third. Attrition was ridden by Bo Martins for Mitchell Friedman.
They've got 300 metres to go. Royal Patronage and Attrition on the outside. Running on well, New Endeavour. Now Kovalika hitting top gear wide out as Attrition takes the lead. Attrition a length and a half clear from Kovalika running on. It's Attrition in front of Kovalika. Attrition hanging on from Kovalika, and Attrition won the Hill Stakes.
And last but not least of our racing action this week at Rosehill, capping the week, was the Division Stakes, a Group 3 affair for 4-year-old up fillies and mares, where Olentia, the 17-10 favourite, rewarded her backers and beat out some long shots in Danny St. Darcy and Royal Merchant. The final margin of victory with Tommy Berry aboard was a length and a quarter, and the trainer was no less than once again Chris Waller.
And down to the 300, it's Peace Treaty under siege from Royal Merchant, Ballroom Bella. Now Alencia gets a chance, given the cue, and Alencia moved up now. Alencia races to a narrow lead here from Royal Merchant, and away she goes, Alencia, maintaining her outstanding first up record. Alencia beat the long price Danny St. Darcy.
Now let's look at what's coming up this week. We have 2 big days to look forward to, one in Australia, which is the Caulfield Cup Day. Then we have British Champions Day, also on that same October 19th, of course, at Ascot in London. Looking forward to 4 Group 1s and 1 Group 2 on the day in Britain's championship meeting. We thank you for tuning in and hope to see you here next week on Past the Post as we get ready for our own fantastic UAE racing season. In the meantime, may all your photo finishes be winning ones.